Thousands of years ago, long before cities, nations, or recorded history, this land we now call America looked completely different. It was a world dominated by ice, where massive frozen plains stretched endlessly beneath a dark and unforgiving sky. Temperatures dropped far below anything humans today could easily survive, and every single day was a fight against nature itself. And yet, despite these impossible conditions, someone was already here, not just passing through, but living, adapting, and surviving against all odds. But here's where the mystery begins to unfold. These people were not who we thought they were. They were not part of the history we were taught in schools. Their existence was never written down, never passed through generations. It's as if their entire story was erased, deliberately or by time itself. For thousands of years, they remained completely forgotten, until something extraordinary changed everything. Deep beneath layers of earth and ice, scientists made a discovery hidden inside ancient bones, preserved for millennia, DNA, carrying secrets from a lost world. But this DNA didn't match anything known before. It revealed a completely different group of humans, a group that lived here, in America, long ago. And then, without warning, without explanation, they vanished, leaving behind only silence. If you are fascinated by mysteries buried deep in history, this is just the beginning. Make sure to subscribe now, because stories like this are rarely told. We uncover the truths that history tried to hide, the secrets that time almost erased forever. Now, let's uncover what really happened. This incredible story begins not in the past, but in a modern scientific laboratory, a place filled with advanced machines, glowing screens, and researchers searching for answers hidden in time. Scientists were carefully studying ancient human remains, bones that had been buried for thousands of years. These remains were incredibly well preserved, protected by ice, darkness, and time itself. Using cutting-edge DNA technology, researchers began extracting genetic material from these ancient samples. Their goal was simple: to understand where these early humans came from. At first, everything seemed routine, just another analysis of ancient ancestry. But then, something unexpected appeared in the data. The DNA patterns didn't match any known Native American groups. It also didn't match the expected Asian migration patterns scientists were familiar with. Instead, it showed something completely different, a unique genetic signature, never seen before in human history. At first, scientists thought it must be an error, maybe contamination, or a mistake in the process. So they tested again and again and again. But the results never changed. The data was clear, undeniable. This was real, a previously unknown population of humans, hidden from history for thousands of years. The discovery shocked the scientific community, because it challenged everything we thought we knew about human migration into the Americas. It suggested that the story of America's first people was far more complex than we imagined, that there were not just one, but possibly multiple groups arriving at different times. And among them, this mysterious, forgotten population. Their DNA told a story, one that had never been written in any book, a story buried in silence, waiting to be discovered. As scientists continued their research, more evidence began to emerge. More samples revealed the same genetic pattern, more proof that this was not a coincidence. This population was real and widespread. But there was still a deeper mystery. If they existed, where did they go? Why is there no record of them today? Why did they disappear completely? To answer these questions, scientists had to look deeper into the past, far beyond written history, into the Ice Age itself. A time when the Earth was colder, harsher, and far more dangerous. A time when survival was never guaranteed. And it was in this world that these people once lived. Their story was not written in words, but in survival, struggle, and adaptation. And slowly, through science, their story began to come back to life. Not as a myth, not as a legend, but as a forgotten reality, a hidden chapter of human history, waiting silently for thousands of years, until now. And what scientists discovered next would reveal not just who they were, but how they lived, and ultimately, how they disappeared. Because the truth was far more dramatic than anyone expected, and far more tragic. Their world was about to change forever. Thousands of years ago, during the peak of the Ice Age, the world looked nothing like it does today. Massive glaciers covered huge portions of the Earth, locking away oceans and reshaping entire continents. Sea levels dropped dramatically, exposing land that is now hidden beneath water. One of those lands was a frozen bridge, connecting Asia to North America. This was the Bering Land Bridge, a silent pathway into a new world, a place where only the strongest and most determined could survive. And across this frozen expanse, humans began their journey, step by step, through snow, wind, and uncertainty. Among them were the mysterious people revealed by DNA. They were not explorers in the modern sense, they were survivors, moving forward not out of curiosity, but out of necessity, searching for food, for safety, for a future. When they finally reached the Americas, they entered a land untouched by human civilization. Vast forests, endless plains, and towering mountains stretched before them. It was beautiful, but also incredibly dangerous. This land was home to massive Ice Age animals, creatures far larger than anything alive today. Mammoths roamed the plains, giant bison moved in herds, and predators hunted in the shadows. For these early humans, survival meant learning quickly. They crafted tools from stone, shaping sharp edges for hunting and defense. Spears became their lifeline, their only chance against powerful animals. Hunting was not just skill, it was survival. One mistake could mean death. They worked together in small groups, relying on trust and coordination. Every hunt required planning, patience, and courage. When successful, it meant food, warmth, and life. When they failed, it meant hunger and fear. As night fell, temperatures dropped even further. The darkness brought new dangers, unseen predators and freezing winds. Fire became their greatest ally. It provided warmth, protection, and a place to gather. Around these fires, they shared food, stories, and moments of connection. Families formed, bonds grew stronger. Children were born into this harsh world, learning survival from the moment they could walk. Every generation adapted, becoming stronger, smarter, more resilient. They learned the rhythms of nature, the movement of animals, the changing seasons. Rivers became their guides, forests their shelter. They built temporary homes, simple but effective against the cold. Their lives were simple but not easy. Every day was uncertain, every moment required awareness. And yet, despite all the challenges, they survived. Not just for days or years, but for generations. They became part of the land, connected to it in ways we can barely understand today. But nature is never stable for long. Slowly, almost silently, the environment began to change. Temperatures shifted, storms became more frequent. The balance they depended on began to break. Animals started to disappear or move to new areas. Food sources became less reliable. What was once predictable became uncertain, and with that uncertainty came danger. A new kind of threat, not from predators, but from the environment itself. The world they had adapted to was changing faster than they could keep up, and for the first time, survival was no longer guaranteed. The strength that once kept them alive was now being tested. Their numbers began to decline, their confidence began to fade, and slowly, a new chapter began. A chapter not of survival, but of struggle, and possibly of extinction. The storms arrived without warning, violent, freezing, and relentless. Winds howled across the frozen land, cutting through everything in their path. Snow fell endlessly, burying the ground beneath thick layers of ice. Visibility dropped to almost nothing, turning the world into a white void. Hunting became nearly impossible in these conditions. Animals disappeared, hiding or migrating away from danger. Food became scarce, and hunger began to take hold. Weakness spread through the group, slowly but surely. The strongest tried to keep everyone moving, to keep hope alive, but even they could feel the strain. The cold showed no mercy, no kindness. Nights became longer, darker, more terrifying. Fire, once their greatest ally, became harder to maintain, and without fire, survival was almost impossible. Fear began to grow, not of enemies, but of something far worse: extinction. One by one, members of the group began to fall. Some to hunger, some to cold, others simply to exhaustion. Each loss made the group weaker. Each day became harder than the last. They kept moving, searching for better conditions, but everywhere they went, the same harsh reality followed. Endless cold, endless struggle. The land that once supported them now seemed to reject them. Hope began to fade. Strength turned into desperation. Survival turned into endurance. And endurance slowly turned into decline. Their numbers continued to shrink. Their energy drained away. The future they once built began to collapse. And yet, there was no final battle. No single moment that ended everything. Instead, it happened slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. They began to disappear. Not all at once, but piece by piece, until eventually there was almost nothing left. Their camps stood empty, silent reminders of lives once lived. Tools lay untouched, as if waiting for hands that would never return. Fires turned into ash, cold and forgotten. Footprints in the snow faded, erased by time and wind. The land grew quiet, almost eerily so. No voices, no movement, no life. Time continued, but they did not. They left no written records, no stories passed down. Only absence, only silence. Scientists today can only ask questions. Did they merge with other groups? Were they completely wiped out by climate change? Or did they slowly fade away, unnoticed? The truth may never be fully known, but one thing is certain. They did not survive as a distinct people. They became part of the past, a past that almost disappeared forever. And yet, something remained, something hidden, waiting to be discovered. Their DNA, preserved in ancient remains, carrying the story they could not tell. A silent record of their existence, a final proof that they were real, and that they once lived here. In a world that has long since changed, their story nearly lost to time, but not completely. Today, scientists continue to uncover the secrets hidden within ancient DNA. With each discovery, the past becomes a little clearer. Faces are reconstructed, lives are imagined. Stories are rebuilt from fragments of evidence. These forgotten people are finally being seen again, not as myths, but as real human beings. They lived, they struggled, and they disappeared. But thanks to science, they are no longer invisible. Their story continues to exist. If you found this journey into the past fascinating, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because history still holds many secrets waiting to be discovered. And this is only the beginning.